used it in every corner of the state. So these different types of tools.
I was Raghu. Hey, hi guys. Hey Jyotsna, hey Megha. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Samriti.
Okay. Right. So today we are going to talk about the one of the most painful topic for parents, which is कि ना कैसे बोलें या फिर ना बोलना चाहिए या नहीं, या फिर मैं इतना ना बोलती हूँ या बोलता हूँ उसके बाद भी मेरा बच्चा नहीं सुनता है, राइट? सो दैट वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दैट कि हाउ we can say no to our kids, because obviously we cannot be permissive parents, but in a way that we don't have to deal with the tantrums, right? So is my voice okay? Are you hearing any disturbance?
No, it is okay.
Thank you. Okay. So
So,
okay. Right. So before I start, a little about me. I am a mom of 5-year-old. I am certified parent coach, and I'm associated with the organization, which is a organization or association of 2,000 plus parent coaches. And our mission is basically to reach out to the parents in order to make their parenting journey a little bit more, because everybody expects us to be the best parent, but nobody teaches them. So that is what we are trying to do. That is my personal mission, because I have gone through different phases of motherhood. And initially, I know and I understand that there was nobody to share the details about, or there was nobody to look forward to or look up to in terms of when it was all about new age parenting. The advice that I used to get was from our elder generations, and the gap between their parenting and our parenting is huge. So there was nobody to bridge that gap. So my personal mission is to reach out to the parents to help them understand how to go through this new age parenting, given that there are so many jargon, there are so many environmental difference, there's so much of technology, right? So this is what I do personally, and that is why I reach out to parents. In case you need any specific help, you can definitely reach out to me one on one, and we can discuss. Right. So going back to the workshop or our discussion, first we need to understand why we say no, or when we say no, right? Do you guys want to take a chance and tell me, when do you say no? When do you want to say no? Anybody? This is a workshop, so please feel free to talk about it. And that is why I say workshop. It is not a webinar where I'm just going to talk about. So stay with me. If you are not okay to switch on your camera or unmute yourself, you can put it in the chat box also. So when or why do you say no when you don't have alternative to do any task? Okay,
When we have
Uh,
fear that kid might get hurt or something.
right, right,
when it is the question of their safety and or health.
right. So most of the time, it is about their safety or health that we say no, right? And other triggers could be we are tired, we don't have time, we are busy, right? So there are so many factors that that are that push us to say no, that trigger us to say no. So first we need to identify why we say no, and उसको हम कैसे उसको पॉजिटिवली बोल सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन यू से अबाउट हेल्थ और सेफ्टी, तो जब जिस तरह से हम ना बोलते हैं दैट इम्पैक्ट्स अ लॉट और दैट हैज अ डिफरेंट इम्पैक्ट ऑन आवर चाइल्ड. So I was studying and there was a research which tells कि especially for the kids brain how they are built, right? No, उनके दिमाग में जाता ही नहीं है, वो फिल्टर आउट हो जाता है. They cannot process no. So when you say no, don't jump, or no, don't run, right? So they are not listening the no. उनको सिर्फ एक्शन समझ में आ रहा है, एंड प्लस आपका जो कहने का तरीका है, हाउ यू आर ओवर, बिकॉज इट इज लाइक अ रिएक्शन, राइट? कि डोंट जंप और डोंट रन ऑन द रोड वाला टाइप्स. So वो रिएक्शन से they get triggered and they get curious all the more and they want to try it. So like taking our example, जब हमें कोई मना करता है don't do it. So for example, if I tell you don't think about dosa, or I tell you don't think about trains, what comes in your mind? Dosa and trains, right? It is running in my mind. So it is like when we are told the same thing as an adult, it is difficult for us to control that thought, that it is difficult for us to not do something. And I believe everybody in their adulthood or in when you were young adults, you might have broken rules just for the sake of it, क्योंकि हमें मना करा गया है, क्योंकि उधर स्कूल के उस कोने में नहीं जाना है, इसलिए we want to go and see what is there, or we have been told not to do this, so that is why we want to do it. Yes, have you done that? Give me thumbs up if you have done that, if you have broken some rules. Are you a rule breaker like me? I have, not many, but I have. Yes. So that is what happens. So when we tell our kids, they're also humans and they are also processing, and they do not have that filter, or they do not have that willpower, or वो समझ कि क्या सही है और क्या गलत है. And when you say no, they definitely want to do it more, and the way you said it, it triggers sometimes, like कि हम कभी उनको हंस के बोलते हैं कि अरे नहीं 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 ऐसे नहीं करना है. I mean, we want to tell them no, you should not do it, but we think it is funny, and हमारा tone जो होता है वो funny हो जाता है, तो they think it is funny, they do not understand your sarcasm. Sometimes, many a times we use sarcasm also, right? कि ऐसे नहीं करना है या जो भी. So वो वो उनको वो चीजें नहीं समझ में आती हैं कि it is a sarcasm or it is not funny that you are saying, or you are saying it out of a reaction, or you are concerned about it. What they just hear is don't do it. So that lets them do or try it all the more. So as you said, when we say no is first of all most important, as per the survey, is also it is a safety concern when parents say no. They are concerned about their health, that is why they say no. They are busy or tired when you are back from office, or you had a long day in the house also, you had a lot of shows, you had people visiting, or you went out shopping and all that, and when you come back and your kid says कि मम्मा पापा let's play, उसको चाहिए कि आपके साथ play करे, but it's like नहीं बेटा यार अभी नहीं, I'm very busy or I'm very tired. When you are in a meeting especially, it's like नहीं यार please अभी नहीं खेल सकते, अभी मेरी meeting हो गई है. So it's like we say no because it is not convenient for us, or when we are frustrated or irritated, it is not the kid, but कहीं और का frustration बच्चे पे निकल जाता है. And sometimes it is कि we don't want उनके ऊपर निकले, but still we tell them no just because we don't want to deal with that, right? And that is why we say no. And then obviously unreasonable demand कि मुझे डिज्नीलैंड जाना है, या मुझे मूवी देखने जाना है, या दोस्तों के साथ बाहर जाना है at a very young age. So those are the major concerns or the reasons why we say no or when we say no. So saying no is not a problem, but how we say no is what we need to learn. And obviously, we cannot say yes to everybody. We cannot be yes parent. We cannot be permissive parent. So that is why we need to understand how to say no in a manner that your kid understands and it retains with them कि ये चीज नहीं करनी है and क्यों नहीं करनी है, right? So okay, so basic way how we can transform our no to yes is, first of all, we need to understand that we need to respond and not react. जब हम सोचते नहीं हैं, हमारा रिएक्शन होता है कि ओके, सो वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग कि अगर कोई बच्चे के हाथ में स्क्रू ड्राइवर है, ठीक है, छोटा बच्चा है, उसके हाथ में स्क्रू ड्राइवर है, या फिर स्क्रू ड्राइवर की जगह नाइफ ले लिया उसने, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट श्योर कि ये चाकू है, राइट? इट इज डेंजरस, दे डू नॉट नो इट येट. तो हमारा क्या कहते हैं, अरे नहीं रख दो. सी, दिस इज आवर रिएक्शन दैट वी टेल देम. और उससे क्या होता है, बच्चा या तो चौंक जाएगा, रोने लग जाएगा, या फिर उसको लगेगा अरे ये तो कुछ ऐसा है कि इससे अट्रैक्ट हो रहा है इंसान, मतलब इससे मुझे अटेंशन मिल रही है, राइट? सो इसी वजह से दे वांट टू एक्सप्लोर इट मोर, राइट? सो फर्स्ट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जब भी बच्चा कुछ कर रहा है, स्पेशली फॉर हेल्थ कंसर्न या सेफ्टी कंसर्न, try and instead of reacting, respond करने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? We have to take a pause, we have to breathe, we have to think, and then we have to nod. So these are the 4 pillars, how 4 steps how you can respond to a situation. If it is dangerous situation, obviously you have to act fast, but instead of reacting, respond to it. अगर आपके बच्चे के हाथ में चाकू है, दूर से चिल्लाने को, अरे नहीं उसको रख दो, अरे तुम क्या कर रहे हो, अरे ये क्यों ले लिया, अरे उसने देखो चाकू ले लिया. Instead of shouting and telling or directing your instructions to the kid, try and respond. If you see, reach out to the nearest adult. For example, मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ, but मेरा husband है, वो he is closer to the kid, is like अरे देखो I'm talking to my husband, ठीक है, and then they have to get up and remove that dangerous thing from their child instead of telling or shouting at the kid कि अरे नहीं करो. Similarly, it happens कि कांच की चीजें खेल रहा है या रोड पे चला गया है या फिर झूले से उतर रहा है, and they're trying to jump at from a height. So instead of always telling no in a reaction, try to respond to it. And this is something that you need to practice, because when we see danger, हमारा mind is not कि we respond to that, we react most of the time. So we have to rewire our brain, we have to train ourselves to respond to a tricky situation rather than reacting to it. So what we have to do for it is, we have to pause, we have to take a breath, we have to think what is the best reaction or response in that situation. Then we have to nod, right? And this goes for anything that your child asks, even for the unreasonable demands. You don't really directly has to say no कि नहीं हम ये नहीं कर सकते. बच्चा बोल रहा है कि अच्छा ठीक है, मुझे बिस्किट खाना है. This is very common, right? And you do not allow biscuits at your home. So it's like, okay, आज ही खाना है. आई अंडरस्टैंड तुम्हें बिस्किट खाना है, बट हम तो नहीं खाते हैं बिस्किट. हम इसको ऐसा बाद में खा सकते हैं, या यू whatever you have set up, like for us is like we allow occasionally biscuits but not every day. And we have talked about the junk food and the health concerns, because my kid is 5-year-old. But for younger kids, you can be there, empathize with them, understand their situation, and then take the next steps, rather than directly saying कि नहीं अरे बिस्किट नहीं खाते, तुम्हें पता नहीं है हमारे घर में बिस्किट नहीं खाते, अरे किसने दिया तुम्हें बिस्किट. Instead of reacting to the situations, try and respond to it, and your tone matters a lot in that, how you are going to talk to your kid, right? So I how we can do it? Try to reframe your words in a more constructive way. So, very common example is when the kids jump or run, we say, don't jump, don't run. So, instead of saying don't jump, we can tell them where to jump. कि अगर सोफे पे नहीं जंप करना है, वो जमीन पे जंप कर सकते हैं, बाहर जाके जंप कर सकते हैं, या कहीं और जो अपने एरिया स्पेसिफाई करा हुआ है वहां जंप कर सकते हैं, राइट? यू हैव टू गिव देम एन ऑल्टरनेटिव. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग डोंट जंप, you can tell them jump on the floor, no jumping on the sofa, jump on the floor, right? So try and be more constructive about it. For example, अगर आपके बच्चे ने कोई कांच का बर्तन लिया हुआ है तो आप उसको बोलोगे कि instead of saying कि अरे ये टूट जाएगा उसको रख दो ये मत छुओ, you have to tell them कि this is fragile, ये कांच का बर्तन है, ये टूट सकता है, so you have to be careful about it and help them. If they are not big enough to carry it by themselves, help them to carry it. So उससे क्या होगा कि आपके बच्चे को पता चलेगा कि फ्रजाइल चीजें कैसे हैंडल कर सकते हैं. Instead of when you're saying no to them all the time to touch fragile things, they'll be like, I don't want to touch it because it is fragile, right? And they will not be comfortable about fragile things, कि वो उसको छुएंगे नहीं, वो उसको उठाएंगे नहीं, because out of fear that it is going to break, rather than understanding how they can handle it carefully. So आपका बच्चा जब कोई कांच की चीजें ले रहा है, then you have to tell them कि अच्छा this is कांच, ठीक है, this is glass, this might break, so you have to be careful about it. You can sit, जैसे अगर for example you have something in your कांच का बाउल, you can tell them to sit down there. They don't have to travel the distance. You can tell them कि वहीं बैठ जाओ और फिर बैठ के खाओ. पानी पी रहे हैं कांच के ग्लास से, वहां बैठ जाओ फिर पानी पियो, ताकि उसको ज्यादा हेल्प हो, उसको हैंडल करने में इजी हो. So you need to give them an alternative how they can handle that situation correctly, right? For example, knife लिया है, so you have to tell them कि this is not safe, this is dangerous, you cannot use it. So you have to tell them why it is dangerous. ये sharp है, according to the age you need to explain and handle it कि this is not safe. When you, instead of using the word dangerous, when you say it is not safe, it makes more sense to them, right? Because dangerous is like a very big word for them. It's like not safe, and then what they can do. So when they understand this safety concern, because हमारे सब में as a human we have this, that we have to keep ourselves safe. So we have to tell them yes and no की बजाय when you say safe and unsafe, it makes more sense to them, right? Then again, explain what behavior you want to see. Give them confined choices or retained access, as we talked about कांच के ग्लास वाले एग्जाम्पल को, कि आप उनको बोलो कि वहीं बैठ के पिए या वहीं बैठ के यूज करें, ताकि और you help them to travel the distance. अगर वो कहीं लेके जाना चाहते हैं, किचन से हॉल में पानी लेके आना चाहते हैं, तो उनको हेल्प करो कि
हाँ यार
tell
थोड़ा
them I
हेक्टिक
can
था.
help.
मतलब आई टोल्ड यू ना, मैं ब्लाइंड्स बनवाने हैं रूम के लिए, तो वो बहुत ही स्टूपिड आइडिया था जाके चेक करने का. हाँ, पूरे रूम सो like crazy
I
mad
hear
outside.
somebody talking.
Yeah.
Is it?
And we had to walk like. Oof.
Can you please put yourself on mute if you are not participating in the workshop?
Deadly. It's so hard. It's crazy.
Okay, then you can say yes with conditions. For example, biscuit वाले example को वापस लाते हुए कि when your kid is saying कि क्या मैं ये बिस्किट खा लूं, या क्या मैं आइसक्रीम खा सकता हूँ, या क्या मैं डेजर्ट खा सकता हूँ, you can tell them कि yes, you can have it with your food or in the afternoon. So for example, we have a rule, or we have a discussion at our home, or we have the boundaries at our home saying ki you can have ice cream only before 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So after 11 and before 5 only you can have ice cream, otherwise सर्दी हो जाएगी. So like yes, you can have ice cream, but in the afternoon. So अगर आज afternoon चला गया है, you can tell them tomorrow afternoon you can have. So you can tell them a yes with the conditions if they are asking for something that you are okay with but not at the moment. So instead of saying no, आज आइसक्रीम नहीं खा सकते, you can tell them कि हाँ ठीक है हम कल खा लेते हैं. या for example डेजर्ट हो गया, तो ठीक है हम डिनर के साथ डेजर्ट खाएंगे या हम लंच के साथ डेजर्ट खाएंगे if they are asking for the unreasonable time. Right? For example, cookies again. Instead of snacking them just after food, you can tell them कि ये हम evening में खा सकते हैं snacks के साथ. So rather than just telling them no upfront, you can turn it into a yes with a condition. When do you want to have them? So it is a choice that you are giving your kid. And then we can definitely use sandwich approach, which we'll talk about it in detail again. So all right. So these are some examples that we just talked about how you can reframe. So we can quickly go through it. Like for example, don't run. Abhi don't run ke liye you don't always want them to run out of safety, but you can, instead of saying don't run, you can tell them walk slowly, right? Or watch your step when they are running. Or if they are on the society or confined space where you have the vehicles but you don't want to run, but it is okay to run if they are safe. So you can tell them watch for vehicles. And then if it is a crowded place, instead of saying ki don't run ya phir idhar mat jao, you can tell them stay close to me, otherwise you might get lost. So whenever we are in a crowded place, be it mall or outer gathering or somewhere else, we always tell our kid to stay close to us instead of going away, because we might lose you. Okay, it is not safe for you. So when we tell them what is safe and unsafe, it makes more sense to them. Then again, don't jump on bed or sofa. You can tell them jump on the ground or you can go outside. Don't scribble on the wall is another very common example, because kids have the tendency, they just want to do it all over the wall. So till up to 4.5 years, my kid has never scribbled on the wall. One fine day he did because nobody was watching. But till 4.5 years, we had all our walls clean. And still today, Abhi, we had only one wall where he has scribbled. Otherwise, when he is into that, he wants to do that, we give him an alternative ki paper de do, drawing book de do. Drawing का spelling गलत है. Drawing book दे दो, या फिर we had a bigger chart paper या फिर bigger क्या बोलते हैं कार्डबोर्ड, वाइट कार्डबोर्ड आता है, यू कैन गिव देम, बिकॉज जब बच्चे छोटे होते हैं दे आर नॉट ओके टू डू इट ऑन द पीस ऑफ पेपर. सो यू कैन गिव देम बिग चार्ट पेपर, यू कैन टेप इट टू योर फ्लोर and they can write on it, or you can give them a designated area even on the wall. You can tape it and then they can write on it. You get a lot of blackboards also which you can tape it on the wall, and they have that designated space where the kids can scribble. But you have to tell them that this is the only space that you can scribble if you're putting it on the wall, so that they do not confuse that it is okay to scribble on the wall, right? So give them an alternative rather than directly saying no. Again, don't have the cookie now ki jagah, we can tell them they can have it in the evening as a snack or dessert, whatever fits your schedule. Another very common thing is don't touch it or don't touch that, right? So we have a rule saying one finger touch, because your child is curious. They are going to go out, they are going to go and touch things. When you're visiting somebody, when you're out in the exhibition or when you're out in the market, they would want to, because unhone kabhi wo cheez dekhi nahi hai kya hai. So instead of telling them don't touch them and triggering their urge to touch it, you can tell them you can do a one finger touch, या उसको धीरे से touch करो, or you can tell them ask permission before you touch it. Okay, so you are giving them alternative. Again, if you are busy, you are in a meeting or you're doing something, you're cooking or something very important or urgent which you cannot leave right now. I mean, if it is not urgent, as I had been saying, if it is not urgent, please attend to your kid. उनका attention span 5 to 10 minutes से होता है, उतना ही आपको attention का उतना ही उनको आपका attention चाहिए. But in case you cannot leave at the moment, because many of us are working parents and working from home. So if you are in a meeting, urgent meeting, or you are doing, cooking or doing something very important which cannot leave, Instead, when your kid comes and they want your attention, instead of telling them no, tell them, give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes, or let me finish this and then we can go. Give them something to look forward to. Give them an alternative. And when you say 10 minutes, do it after 10 minutes. Go to them, talk to them after 10 minutes. Ki, Acha, I was in the meeting, I was busy, you came to me. What is it? Right? You have to always get back to them. You have to keep their promise, because these little things build your trust with your kid. Okay. Now, the sandwich approach, right? Something which I learned, and it was a miracle. It is really a miracle for me. Because sandwich approach is like a boon for parenting. So how does the sandwich approach work? Is how is the sandwich? So it has two layers and it has a filling in between, right? So when we talk about sandwich approach in parenting, of saying no, we have to do the same thing. Okay. I think if you are in a corporate, or if you have been in a corporate, you might have heard it a lot. They put some praise, then they give you your appraisal ka rating, and then they tell you again what you can do in the future, right? So they are using sandwich approach. It is from there it has been derived, sandwich approach. So how we use it in parenting, we sandwich our no between the yeses. So we say yes, we say no, and then we say yes again when we are closing it, right? So okay, giving an example. So what happened is ki, as I said, biscuits are very, very occasional in our home. We don't promote biscuits, or we don't give biscuits to our kids. So I went to a shop, and my kid picked up the bourbon ka packet usne le liya, and he was like ki हाँ मुझे ये चाहिए. So I was like ki, oh yes, I like it. You also like it, bourbon, right? कितना मस्त लगता है. But can we have it on Saturday? हम बिस्किट नहीं खाते हैं ना रोज. So let's not take it today, no. And then let's get it on Saturday. हम दोनों Saturday को मिलके फिर बिस्किट खाएंगे. I promise I'll get it for you, and I did. Okay. So you see how you're saying, you're giving them a hope that yes, we can do it, instead of just telling them कि नहीं हम बिस्किट नहीं खाते, हम बिस्किट नहीं लेंगे, right? So that is how you can use the sandwich approach. Do you have any example that you want me to pick up any situation? Do you want me to share on? Yes, no? So if your kid is asking, okay, another example that came to my mind, if your kid is asking to go for a play area, ठीक है, या फिर play zone, then again, oh, play zone is very much fun. We can go to play zone. But आज तो नहीं जा सकते, अभी we are busy, or it is a weekday, or it is closed. So we cannot go today. And then topping it up with a yes, saying we can go on Saturday, or we can go sometime, or you can tell them a milestone that they can go on. Same thing you can do with the gifts also. When your kid is asking for a car or a soft toy or a doll, oh, I love soft toy, you have so many, and this is a new one. You get excited about that, and then say no, that nahi, aaj to abhi nahi le sakte, we already have so many. What we can do is we can put it in a wish list for your birthday, or for Diwali, or for any festival that is coming on. So you're topping it and closing it up with a yes. So that is how we can use the sandwich approach, and trust me, it has been a game changer in our parenting. Rather than directly saying no or putting the alternatives, when we use the sandwich approach, it gives them hope. And there are various ways you can use it. There is whatever suits you, your family, your child. Similarly, what we can do it, we just have to be gentle about it. We have to push the slice or the filling of no between the two slices of bread that we have, or two slices of yes that we have, right? So that was about sandwich approach. Do you guys have any questions? I know I did not take a breath in between because I wanted to keep it short, and so that it's not very it doesn't become boring, or it is very long. But if you have any questions, I'm here. Please let me know. does the session make sense to you? Was it helpful to you? Did you have any takeaway from the session? If you can, please give me thumbs up if you're still here so that I know I have people who are hearing that you're still here.
Yes, it was
Okay.
helpful. I will use it. अभी तो छोटा है मेरा baby, but I am going to use
I
it.
know, I know. You still have a lot of time to practice. You try it on your husband.
Yeah. अरे हाँ, good idea.
You practice it. 2 साल में बहुत ज़्यादा practice हो जाएगी.
Yes.
Okay, in case you want to personally reach out to me for any help that you need, my details are on the screen, and you have, if you are the part of the WhatsApp group, you can directly reach out to me from there. Also, you have my number, and I wish you all a good parenting journey. Thank you everyone for attending, and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.